over the last couple of months, I've been testing out the Ultra Lone Peak 9s. I've been very interested in them because if you're like me, you watch some backpacking YouTube, you've probably heard people talk about them quite a bit throughout the years. I've been very ultra curious. After picking them up a couple of months ago, I put on roughly 400 kilometers on them, and I gotta say I have some very mixed opinions with them. I think it's one of the more comfortable shoes out there, but I don't think it's for everyone. And there's one thing that's kind of holding me back. I'm not too sure if my pair were just a fluke or not. More on that later. So let's talk about the positives of them first. Some of the basic specs of the Ultras. It's a zero drop, very minimal shoe. So the little context on what kind of shoes I've been wearing for the last few years. I've been wearing your traditional trail runner shoes, rocking my old Asics and Solomon trail runners. I've used those for the last couple of years, and I've liked them quite a bit. But about a year and a half ago, I decided to start wearing barefoot shoes on a day-to-day basis, just to try it out, see if I can help stabilize my ankles. I have some issues with. And it's helped quite a bit. So I wanted to see what it'd be like if I used a trail runner that was a very minimal shoe, but still had some support to it because I didn't want a full barefoot hiking shoe. With that in mind, it lets me transition into the Ultras quite seamless. So something I gotta say about the Ultras is that the fact that they're as popular as they are is very surprising. It's a very weird shoe. I don't recommend them. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a weird shoe that's, you have to have a very specific foot for it, and I don't think it's for most people. Just because I have a very weird foot and it suits me, but I don't understand how it suits a lot of other people. So just to talk about the Ultras and kind of some of the really weird things about them. Well, it's a very minimal shoe. There's no raise in the heel. In most shoes, there's some sort of raise in the heel that gives you some sort of elevation in that area that helps with your ankle mobility and whatnot. With the Ultras, there's nothing. It's flat. Your heel and your ball of your foot are in the same level. So with that being said, if you're not used to wearing like a very minimal shoe, it's gonna throw things totally out of whack for you, and you're probably gonna have a lot of ankle and calf and Achilles issues. So if you have those to begin with, I don't think Ultras are gonna be for you. The toe box on the Ultras is extremely wide, so if you have a wide foot, or if you're hiking quite a few miles day after day, your feet are gonna swell up quite a bit. You're gonna appreciate having that wide toe box. And for me, that's been one of the reasons why they're extremely comfortable, because I find quite often between my big toe and the toe next to it, I can form a blister and a crevice between the toes in that area. You guys are getting blasted out. If you want to see the Ultra Lone Peak 9s, I got a link for it down there in the description. Over the last 400 kilometers, I did one where I was cracking over 40 kilometers a day in distance, and the second trip I did was a 6-day food carry over a coastal trail, which had a lot of muddy and sandy terrain on it. And I never developed a blister in my problem area. I did get some in a couple other areas, but those were from unrelated things. But anyways, with the wide toe box, that helps when your feet swell after those long days, and I find it quite comfortable. And that's the biggest thing with shoes, like how do they feel after doing a long, hard day on trail? They still feel good. Your feet are gonna hurt regardless, but can you tolerate it, or does it feel better compared to some of the other ones? Well, my feet feel some of the best comparatively to some of the other shoes I've used in the past. Now for the tread on the bottom, the versions I have, they're using a max track tread on the bottom. I'm not sure if that's from like the traction boards that off-roaders use, but it'd be kind of funny if they had that down there. And I find it kind of sucky, honestly. The grip isn't the best on it. I find I've slipped quite a bit on these shoes. My feet will kick out on wet rocks. They don't like it when there's a little bit of mud on them. They get really slippery. So yeah, I found the tractions to be quite bad compared to my Asics trail runners and Hoka Speed Goats I've used. I believe there's a version you get with a Vibram tread on the bottom. I think that'll be the one to get. Having that little bit extra grip would really help bring the shoes together more. If you guys are enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Bear through the cringe of the thumbs up. It's never gonna get not cringy asking for a thumbs up. One thing I've heard quite a bit about with the Lone Peaks is that they are not very durable, and I found that to be the case. After about 400 kilometers, my pair were toast. What had happened on them is that on the sides of the shoes, that the fabric had ripped on the side, outside of the toe box. And then with that rip right there, it's not something you really could live with, because I would get grit inside of that area and it would start acting like sandpaper against my foot and start chewing away at it. And it felt like I was ready to chop off my pinky toe by the end of the day. That's been a repeating theme of Lone Peaks, is that they don't last very long, but I was a little skeptical of it to see how long they would actually last for me. And with me being very hard on gear, it really shined that they don't last that long at all. They sure fell apart on me. Now there could be a cause of that. Maybe the shoe didn't fit me correctly and that my foot was moving around in a certain way so that it was causing an extra wear in that area. That could have caused it to rip prematurely. But to happen on both shoes, I just feel like it's just a design flaw when that happened. Another little weird quirk with the Ultras is that they have this little tail at the end of them. Now, if you step over some mud, if you have mud on there and you kind of step on something with like a root and it kind of snaps backwards, it will fling mud up backwards and all over your hiking partner and behind you. Yeah, sorry, Paige. I don't know why they have those little rudders there. Maybe to help steer you through the mud with a lack of traction. And as always, these videos are sponsored by me. So, if you guys enjoy it, I have my Patreon link down below. Down there I put up a recent video of my thoughts on the synthetic jackets I've been researching. I don't have anything yet, but just kind of my thought process on them and a couple little rant videos, you know? If you want to check those out, got those videos on Patreon right now. I purchased my shoes at a local store here, so they were able to help me out with a warranty process where they replaced them for me, so I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you Front Runners Victoria for doing that. And no, they don't know that I'm a YouTuber, they just have great customer service. What I've heard a lot of people do is that they say buy the previous generation of them, the Lone Peak 7s or Lone Peak 8s, find them on clearance and just bulk buy them and just expect they're not going to last as long as traditional trail runners. I was really wanting to try out the Topo Pursuits, but I live on an island and no one on my island has them in stock, so I'll have to go to the gosh darn big city to go find a pair. One nice thing with the shoe is that it's extremely breathable. It dries out very fast. During the coastal trek, there was quite a few mud bogs and river crossings, and I wouldn't hesitate to walk through them, and I just let my feet dry out over the next hour. Luckily, I went to the mom and pop shop, and they set me up with another pair of Lone Peak 9s. Except for this time, they said I should go for the wide version of it, because potentially my feet could be pushing against the side or causing an increase where previously the pivot point was a little bit lower in the foot, causing things to wear down prematurely in that area. We'll find out how it fits. These things feel pretty comfortable. I'm just a couple days off after that long coastal hike, so my feet are still a little swollen from it, and they feel good. I have high hopes for them. And they're black now, coming in a nice speedy black. I feel really fast. Black cars are faster, right? No, red cars. Our last ones were red, so that means I'm gonna be slower. Dang. If you guys enjoyed this first impression, don't forget to hit subscribe. Lots of other first impressions coming up from a lot of gear I've been testing out over the last few months. Let's hear down in the comments below what kind of shoes you use to hike with and the reason why. Also, the terrain you hike on. I think that matters quite a bit where you hike. How often do your hikes involve scrambling? Are you in the desert? Are you in the forest? All that stuff matters quite a bit. So let me know down in the comments what you wear. If you guys enjoyed this video, go check out this over here, all the gear I'd use on a through hike. Yes, I'd use the Lone Peak 9s for it. Maybe until I try out the Topo Pursuits. We'll see how this new pair does. We'll see you guys over there.